Congratulations for being a part of history today. Congratulations for being a part of the beginning of being phenomenal. I am so excited. I don't know how to describe how excited I am about today, right? I'm super excited that you're here today, that you're part of this journey, and that you're going to be a part of this community. I'm very happy to have you here with me today. And so I would like to officially welcome you to the Being Phenomenal series. My name is Cornelia Opoku-Jemfi, and I'm going to be your host for a very long time to come. You're going to see my face, but you're also going to see the face of other beautiful, phenomenal women. Subscribe to this channel. Yes, you. Subscribe right now so that you don't miss any content, girl. I don't want you to miss out on anything that happens here. So be sure to subscribe now. Being Phenomenal series is going to be a mixture of pre-recorded and live videos. So I don't want you to miss out on anything as well. So you need to also follow us and hit the notification buttons on our social media. That's on our Facebook and on our Instagram, so that you get notified whenever we go live, and also to help us interact with you and to also build this community further. We're going to talk about what to do after COVID-19. Girl, what are your plans after COVID-19? And to make this conversation relatable, I'm going to tell you all, because I mean, y'all are my sisters, you're my friends, you're my best friends, you're a phenomenal woman. So I'm going to share a part of my life story with you. I understand that I was in a global pandemic. I understand that I was in a global crisis. But it was my world coming to an end. It was my world that felt like had ended. But I found a way to grow out of it and evolve out of it. And here I am today. So I'm just going to share that part of my life with you today. And hopefully you would get some momentum and get some courage and insight and gather some strength from it to be able to look beyond COVID 2019. I had to switch up the conversation in the last minute because I felt that we needed to have a conversation about what we're going to do after COVID-19. You know what? And I know there's a global pandemic and we're all in the darkness, but girl, there's been some times in your life where you literally didn't know what to do. We have all been in some dark places in our lives, except that this is just a time where the whole world is in the dark spot together. We're all in this together. It doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter your country, your origin, your religion, the language you speak, the food you eat, the clothes you wear. Nothing matters right now. It's just, how are we going to get through this? What do we do? And so I just want us to have this conversation today because I understand the place that we're in right now, girl. I know the panic. I know the uncertainty you're feeling. I know that, do I even need to think beyond COVID-19? And if I need to think beyond COVID-19, what do I need to think about? Girl, we all had plans. I know that. We all did. See, I'm just looking at my 2020 vision board right across my room right now. I'm just like eyeballing it like a little right now. We all had plans. I know we all had plans for May. We had plans for June. We had plans for 2020. But right now, it's like we need to all take several steps back and reevaluate the plans that we had for 2020. We don't even know if we're going to accomplish the goals that we set for ourselves in 2020. It's a whole lot, I know. And so that's why I want us to have this conversation. That's why I think it's also a very good place to start being phenomenal. Yeah. So let's get into the conversation. I was in level 300 in the university, and during this time we have the SLC elections, and I wanted to vie for the position of the SLC Women's Commissioner, really. And I have never been into politics. None of my family is into politics. We really are not the political kind of people, you know what I mean? But I felt during the time that, okay, I wanted to do this, and I had plans. Like, we all had plans for 2020. I had plans for the university that if I won, I would implement those plans to help the women in the institution. For a very long time in the race, I was the only one, literally the only one vying for that position, right? So it was automatic that I was going to win. So like, what do I have to do? Like, even though I still had plans to help the institution and all that, it was just automatic that I was going to win because I was the only one in the race and everything. But when we had about 3 weeks or a month to the elections, I had an opponent come up and say she was also running for that same position, right? And so that just distorted everything. I was relaxed, and I was just really, at the time, I was just really putting plans in place to fulfill the promises that I had made to the student body, right? But this time I had to switch places as quickly as possible, get to full campaign mode, and campaign against my opponent. That was not easy. There was a lot of propaganda. I'm not even going to go into all of that, but it was just politics. It was just bloody, right? And it was a very difficult time for me because it's not something that, like I said, I'm used to. It's not something that I was shy to talk to people, to tell people that this is what I wanted to do. So it was very difficult for me to do that. But I pulled my weight. I did as much as I could. I spoke to as much people as I could. I walked the length and breadth of the community, of the student body. I had to meet people that I didn't even know were in the school. I had to print campaign paraphernalias to share to people just to gain popularity amongst the student body, right? Fast forward to the election day, I was confident I was going to win. You know what? I've actually written about this story on my blog, so I'm going to leave a link to the blog to the post in the blog in the description box below as well, so that you can take a read. And it's actually out of this story that I'm telling you today that the phenomenal woman was birthed. Oh my goodness, that was a spoiler. I shouldn't have said that. But I said it already anyway. So fast forward to the election day. I remember my mom calling me sometime during the day, and then she called me and then she was like, you know what, we've prayed, you have campaigned. If you don't win this elections, it's just God saying it wasn't for you. Just look on to what you have to do beyond that. She was just calling me to just trying to get me to think beyond the elections, and that was just what she was trying to do at that point in time. But I'm like, I'm not having this conversation with you right now, ma'am. We're having the elections. People are voting for me. The response I was having at the time was very good, was very positive. So no, I don't want any negative energy around me today. Not today, mom, not today. But fast forward to the election time, and we voted. It was like a whole day. I remember I didn't eat that day, girl. I was so hungry. I was famished. We voted, and I couldn't stay in the room where they were actually counting the ballots. So I moved. I stepped out, and my friends were back in there. So when they counted my part, my friends just came out and then they just shook their head and said, we didn't win. At that time, I literally felt dead inside of me, girl. Because I had given it my all. I have never done that before. I had never put my everything, my all, my heart, my soul, my mind, my spirit, my energy, my money into this election. And I was like, how on earth did I lose? What did I do wrong? God, what did I do wrong? And believe you me when I say that I was in a dark place at the point in time. Yes, it was in the evening, but I was literally in a dark place, emotionally, mentally, psychologically, spiritually, everything. My whole being was in a dark place. I felt disgraced, I felt embarrassed, I felt I've lost the election. Oh my goodness, how would I even show my face on school, on the campus? People had already been talking about me for the past couple of weeks, but now this is what you're going to say. Oh, that's a girl that lost the elections. Like, I'm a loser. I lost. I failed. Those were the thoughts that were going through my mind. I cried the whole night, but in the midst of me crying that night, I was just asking God, why? God, why? God, why? God, why? And then this verse in Isaiah came to me where it says that for his thoughts are not our thoughts, and his ways are not our ways. For us, the heavens are high above the earth, so are his ways high above our ways, and his thoughts high above our thoughts. And so at that point in time, I was just thinking that, God, what thoughts is it that you have that could be high above me being the SLC Women's Commissioner of this institution? And that was the spot at which I was at that moment, just thinking, this is bad for me. This is a failure. This is disappointing. This is terrible. This is my world coming to an end. Have you ever put yourself in everything? Like, you put your all into something, right? And you know that this is just, you're just going to have positive results. You're just going to hear good news, and then it just comes and it's like totally the opposite of everything that you had hoped for, and you had prayed for, and you had worked for. How disappointing it is. It's a struggle to actually pull through that kind of place, right? And to look beyond it. But in that moment where I was still asking God, what do I do? What do you mean by this? What do you mean by that? In that moment, I had the inspiration to just write my first blog post, because that was one of the things I said I was going to do for the institution. I've always loved writing. I've always loved to share my knowledge and my thoughts with people through writing. So I was like, okay, I'm going to actually have a blog, a woman's blog for the institution. So that was one of the things that I wanted to do with them. And I didn't win the election, but I'm sitting here, and in the moment where God is telling me that my ways are high above your ways and my thoughts are high above your thoughts, it's just like, how do you start a blog? So I called up my friend who had had a blog for a while, and I just called her. I'm like, hey girl, I want to start a blog. What do I do? It's just like, okay, you can first of all decide to download WordPress or the other one, Google Blogspot. I hope I got it right. Yeah, Blogspot or something like that. Yeah. So she's like, you could do either one of that. And I'm like, okay, so I have to download it. What do I do? She's like, oh, the instructions there. You'll be fine. You'll be able to set it up, and then you just get going. I'm like, okay, great, thank you. So I download WordPress on my phone, and I just write out my first blog post. This was in 2016. Woo! I write out my first blog post, and then the following day I write out a second, and then I started writing every week. From then, every week, and then here I am today. By the grace of God, just the seed that was from the blog post evolved and grew into a network of women, and now we are here starting this journey together of being phenomenal. So that is my story that I wanted to share with you today. Like I said, I'm going to leave the link in the description box below so that you can have a read on the story. But I just shared that because I just wanted us to relate that with the place at which we are in right now globally. Like I said, I understand that what I went through was not a global crisis. It wasn't a global pandemic. There was no virus attacking anyone anywhere. But I just want us to look at the fact that it was a dark place that I was in. And globally, worldwide, we're all in a dark spot. We're in a place where we are not sure whether we can even think beyond and look beyond COVID 2019. It's like, what's the point even? What's even the point of all this? What's the point of thinking beyond COVID 2019? What's the point of planning? Because like I said, we all had plans for 2019, but then here we are today, and like, what's the point? But I just came to tell you a few things, girl. I just came to encourage you. I just came to let you know that as long as you're breathing, as long as you're eating, as long as you're walking, as long as you're sleeping, As long as you're doing all these things, your life hasn't ended yet. And as such, you should not think that it all ends with you in this moment, and you shouldn't think that you don't have to look beyond this dark spot right now. I like to think of this period as an incubation period, or as a gestation period, or as a nurturing period. When a baby forms in the womb of the mother, correct me if I'm wrong, I've never had a child, but I don't think there's any light in the womb that a child sees, or the fetus sees, or the baby sees in the womb. When a seed is planted in the soil, it's darkness all around it. No light whatsoever. But in that moment, being in the womb, being in the ground, being in that dark place, there are places, there are people that you can hold on to get the nutrients that you need, to get the vitality that you need, to be able to pull onto the strength, the encouragement, the insight, the love, the warmth that you need to be able to go out and birth what you need to birth. I want you to think of this period where we have been told to stay home, where it's like everything has come to a standstill. I just want you to think of this period, whether you're going to be home for 2 weeks, a week, a month, whatever. Just think of this period as a gestation period for you, for your person, for what God wants to do in your life. Look at this period as if you had a child in your womb, and that child is going to come forth when this COVID-19 pandemic ends, and it will end. This is not the end of the world. I don't know when God is coming. I don't know all that. You don't know that either, but this is not the end of the world. And so it will end. See what I did there? This is not the end of the world, so it will end. Anyway, but I just want you to think of this period as a gestation period, as a period where you have a child in your womb, as a period where you have planted a seed in the soil. And the seed is going to germinate. If you had planted a seed in the soil, what would you do to the seed to make sure that the seed doesn't sprout up as a dead seed, but it comes out as a mighty oak? You're going to give it all the resources, you're going to give it all the vitamins, you're going to give it all the nutrients that it needs to be able to come out as a mighty tree. If you're a woman and you're pregnant, or if you've ever been pregnant, you know that when you're pregnant, you need to eat the right kinds of food to be able to have the child grow and become strong and healthy. You know you don't need to take alcohol, you don't need to smoke, you don't need to take certain things that will be toxic to the life of the baby. And so you do not do anything that would harm the life of the baby, but you do all the things right for the child, for the sake of that child in your womb. What is it that you have in you that you need to birth after COVID-19? What is it in you that you need to get doing after COVID-19? How about you use this period to plan? How about you use this period to strategize? How about you use this period to get to God on your knees and ask God, what next for me after COVID-19? What do I need to do after COVID-19? You need to go to God and ask God, how do I come out of this period better, bigger, and greater? How do I do that? Girlfriend, phenomenal woman, my dear lady, my sweetheart, my best friend. Today I came to ask you that after COVID-19 is over, are you going to go back to your same 9-to-5 routine? Are you looking to just be the same person that you had been before this pandemic hit the world? What are you doing in this period to fulfill your purpose and your vision? What are you doing within this period to activate your purpose and your vision? What are you doing in this period to make sure that your purpose and your vision does not halt? That's the thing that I like to say, that no matter what you're going through in life, the purpose that God has for you, the purpose that God intended for you to come and fulfill here on earth, doesn't have to be on hold. You know how people, there's been lockdowns in countries, or either lockdowns or states of emergency, or whatever technical term we decide to give to it. Like, everything has come to a halt. You can go, you can come, you can go to work. You're either having to work from home or you're not working at all. Church buildings have even been closed. But guess what? The purpose that God gave to you as an individual, the purpose that God planted, that seed that God planted in you, that child that God has put in you, does not have a start date and an end date, or it doesn't stop, or it doesn't pause when things are not going right in your life. The purpose of God in your life does not pause when things aren't going well, or when things aren't going as you planned. No, because God's purpose is not parallel to your things going well in your life or not. Like, it's not bent on that. It's not okay, so if things go well in my life, then I'll be able to fulfill God's purpose. No, fulfill God's purpose and then things will go well in your life. I would say it again, your purpose does not stop because things are not going well in your life. And so I just wanted to come and encourage you today. I just want you to, and I hope I've been able to convince you, to give you some strength, to give you some insight, to be able to look beyond COVID-19. What are you doing beyond COVID-19? What is your plan? What is it in this moment that you are working on that you will birth after COVID-19? Girl, it's an error for you to come out the same way you were before COVID-19 happened. What have you learned within this period to help you propel something within you, to engineer something within you, girl? I believe in you. I know you can. I know you will. So just know what, just get started with it. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I hope this conversation has been impactful. I hope it has helped you think beyond COVID-19, because like I said, that was my only agenda for having this conversation with you today. Once again, my name is Cornelia Opoku-Gyamfi. I love you so much. Thank you for being here with me today. And girl, don't forget that your worth is far above rubies. Until next time, bye.